These are the plaintiffs, Andrew Dion and Brianna Williams. They say they were hired to repair the body and paint the bus the defendant wanted to sell. They worked diligently on the old rusted thing. Now the defendant, a former friend of theirs, refuses to pay for all of their hard work. They never should have mixed business with pleasure in the first place. They've lost a friend over all of this. They just want their money so they can move on. They're suing for $3,700 for materials and labor. This is the defendant, John Furtado. He says he told his almost one-time best friend that time was of the essence in getting the bus painted, but the guy took his sweet time. That's right, he'd show up for a few hours here and there. He had his friend work on it. He didn't know what he was doing, and now he has one big unsellable mess on his hands because the thing looks worse now than it did before the plaintiff started. He's accused of bailing on a friend. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $7,000, the amount it's going to cost him to repair the plaintiff's work.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiffs were really close to the defendant. That is, until they agreed to repair and paint the defendant's bus and got stiffed. But the defendant says the plaintiff shockingly took advantage of him, took forever, and did an awful job. It's the case of you busted my bus.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome in.
Okay, Mr. Dion?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you and Mr. Furtado were friends before this, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long had you been friends?
A couple of years.
Okay. And did he approach you or did you approach him regarding the painting of a bus?
He approached me, Your Honor.
And what did he say to you?
He wanted a bus painted just enough, good enough to sell, was his exact words.
All right, so what happens? He hires you to do it, and how much does he agree to pay you?
We agreed between $2,000 and $3,000.
What's between $2,000 and $3,000? That's like, you know.
Well, we agreed on $3,000.
That's not an agreement. That's a span.
Well, that's what he started with, was $2,000 and $3,000. We talked about it after.
I'm sorry. 2 or 3? Which one?
Between 2 and 3, Your Honor. That was our.
And nobody specified how much?
We hadn't seen it yet. That's why we told him we're going to go see it the next day.
Okay. So you go and see it,
We go and see it. I told him, I said, I need a little bit more time on this one because it's a lot of work. It wasn't just what he explained.
Is this your business?
No, it's just this is a deal between a friend.
Right, but how would, like, if someone said, hey, Marilyn, can you paint a bus? I would say no. Like,
No, my daughter's 17 years old. She's going to school for it.
Who's the lady next to you?
My daughter.
Okay.
This is what she's going for a career for. So he wanted her to work for him on her own. And he was like, well, let her start with doing this bus. So that's what we did, Your Honor.
All right,
So
go
I
on.
went there to begin with, just to look at it and start doing things that needed.
So did you come to an agreement on a price?
Yes, I did. I came
And
to
what was the
$3,000.
$3,000. And
$3,000.
did he agree to that?
He agreed $3,000 and he pays for all the
I don't think there's any
supplies.
dispute about that. What you're upset about is the job. Yeah. All right, so go on.
So, Your Honor, so the deal was we were going to paint the bus for him. We got there and it needed a lot more work than we noticed. He had already had somebody start on doing this bus. And I guess we didn't know.
What kind of work?
A lot of body work. We have pictures to show you of before and after of what the bus looked like.
Did you submit the before pictures?
Yes, I did. I have them organized all here if you want to see them.
Oh, you got them organized?
Yes, these are organized. These are all before.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, he had somebody already start the body work in this bus, Your Honor. The whole side of it was scraped.
All right, so this is a picture of who doing work?
One of my workers, one of my guys that works with
Who's
me.
one of your workers?
His name's Mark.
And he's employed by you, or you hired him to help you on this job?
He does odd jobs for me. He works in. I have a.
What's
auto
your
recovery.
business?
Repossessions.
People love you as much as they love lawyers.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay. So, and where is this? This is a big bus. How many passenger bus is it?
56.
Wow. So, had you had somebody else doing some work on it before?
Yeah, someone started it and then they couldn't finish it.
Okay. So it's not actual body work that you're doing. What are you doing? Bondoing it?
A lot, yeah, it's a lot of bondo because he didn't want to buy new panels. The bus would have cost $20,000 to do professionally.
How much were you selling it for?
Originally, I was going to ask $50,000 for it, painted and looking decent.
And how much are you selling it for?
I listed it now for $30,000.
So it needs work and it needs paint, and you feel that the job that they did was deficient, and you have paid them how much in labor up to now? 0, right?
Well, I gave them.
Wait, hold on one second.
Nothing, Your Honor.
0. And according to you, you've paid them what?
$500 for whether it was materials or labor, and then $600 for paint.
$600 for paint.
But that was directly from the paint shop.
Yeah, you always knew you were going to pay the paint. So who picked out the paint?
I said white, and then he just decided what actual color white.
How about what brand or what?
I'm not a painter. I don't.
Okay. Well, not is he, right?
Yeah,
He's a
right?
tow truck driver, right? He owns a tow company. So when you say, I could have made $50,000, now I'm going to have to eat it and only sell it for $30,000, you also could have had a professional car painter paint it, right? Had a car body shop do this, but you chose to have your buddy and his 17-year-old.
This is why I asked him.
Okay. Ask him what? You know he's your friend. You know
he
he's
knew how to paint.
You know he owns a tow company,
But he knows
and you know she's 17.
He knows how to do a lot of things. He just doesn't know how to
Right. So you had an alley body shop guy do it. That's who you picked. All right. Don't you know? And how do you own this bus? Is this your business?
No, I own a business repairing buses, and it was inherited from my father's company.
And you didn't know anybody who could paint it, or the prices were just too high?
There's bus body shops, but they're high, yes.
High. Like how much would it cost to get like if you wanted to do the Mac Daddy job on this bus? What
Well,
would
we have a quote from the local body shop for $9,200.
$9,000. What kind of paint did you buy?
We had the discussion with him. We bought single stage. We told him it's better with a base clear coat because you spray the paint and then you clear over it. He did not want to spend the money on that. He said he wanted cheap as possible. That's a single stage paint, which is just shoot it and go.
Is that accurate?
Yes, but single stage paint is commonly used on modern day cars. Any kind of body shop is 50%.
But one of your
single
complaints
stage.
is it's not shiny, right?
Yes, and single stage paint is extremely shiny when sprayed right. I can show you
Is single stage paint extremely shiny when sprayed correctly?
It would have looked better if we also told him that we should primer the whole bus because the bus had numerous different colors.
What do you mean if you also told him?
We did tell him. We told him that we wanted to primer the whole bus. He didn't want to spend the money on primer. He
Okay.
bought us spray cans, like little aerosol cans. I think he bought us 6, Your Honor,
He asked
to do
for
a
his
whole
keys, Your Honor.
bus.
All right, so now you have pictures that you submitted into evidence because according to you, the job is abysmal. All right, so what is this?
That's overspray.
Why is there this is a door handle or
Yeah,
what is?
Exactly.
Okay, why is there overspray on the door handle? Didn't you guys tape stuff down?
We taped a lot of it. He had to keep going in and out of the bus to keep moving it back and forth. That's why the bus, we couldn't even finish on a timely manner because every time we went there, he had a bus he was working on in the garage. So his bus came out of the garage.
What does that
back
have to
into
do
the
with taping
garage.
it up before you, like if the tape had to be taken off to go inside, then you tape it up again before you paint.
Yeah.
Why would there be overspray?
Because if there is overspray, we clean it afterwards.
Well, did you clean it afterwards? Because I'm looking at it in the picture.
We didn't get to that, Your Honor. There's more to the story.
What is this a picture of?
More overspray. There's a few photos. That's the that's the paint.
Okay.
If you look closely, there's.
What is this a
actual
picture
photos.
of?
If you look closely, you can see defections in the paint. That's right on the entry door.
What do you suppose that is? Can you see that from where you are, or do you want to get closer?
No, I can see that, Your Honor. That's his fingerprints. We told him
Well, it
about
looks like
that.
a cat walked through.
Yeah,
there.
he touched them with his fingerprints when he went to open the door and the bus wasn't dry. When we finished the bus, Your Honor, we were finished painting it. It needed time to dry. Mr. Furtado.
What's this right here?
Yeah, it's more overspray on the exhaust, and the crack in the bumper that was supposed to be fixed.
Why is there spray at all on those?
And if you look on the next photo, the red engine is oversprayed with white.
Yeah, why is there so much overspray?
That goes through the back door because he didn't want us taping anything up.
It was just
Why would he
just
not
wanted it
want you taping anything up?
Because you're not going to see that. He just wanted it shot.
No, just a second. It's one thing to say, I don't want to spend a lot of money. It's another thing to say, I don't want you to trouble yourself and tape something. I don't think he said that.
We were supposed to replace the back door.
And by the way, what are these two things that I'm looking at?
Those are exhaust pipes.
Exhaust pipes. Why would they get sprayed? You should have taped those up.
Your Honor,
This is what
because
happens when you get an alley painter.
Yeah.
Right, but see, you're mad that you didn't get your money's worth, and yet you weren't willing to pay what it takes to get something like this done. So the question is, how mad do you have a right to get, and do you have a right to withhold all of it? Which is what you've done. It's not even like you've negotiated with him to pay him half or pay him 3/4 or do something. You've literally paid your friend zero.
So if somebody goes to a wonky paint company, an alley paint company, and they do a lousy job, are you allowed to expect a professional job from them?
You get what you pay for.
Is that true?
That's true.
So the question, when you go to somebody and you say, I'll give you my money, no matter how cheap, can you expect a professional job?
Oh, not sure.
You're not sure. Okay. Well, I guess I'm not sure either. I'm going inside the courtroom and we'll find out.
I mean, there's some defects, right? Like you'll admit that there's some defects that I was just looking
Absolutely,
at. When you say I didn't get a chance, what do you mean? Did he throw you off the job or what happened?
Well, let me explain that to you, Your Honor. In the middle of painting, 3/4 of the way through the paint job, we were asked to stop by his landlord. He had no permission to paint in the bay. She started rapping on the door like a lunatic, which she's a nice lady. We didn't know that. We didn't know her at the time.
Rapping on the door of the bus?
No, on the door of his garage. He rented a garage, two parts of this 4-bay garage. He rented 2 bays of it for what he was doing for his bus repairs. She gave no authorization to paint in that booth. She flipped on us.
Why does she have to give authorization to paint in there?
Because it's not allowed to be painted. It's not zoned for it. She doesn't want it. It's illegal.
Oh, the government actually gets involved in that?
No.
Yeah, you have to paint a certain.
Yes or no?
No.
So what ends up happening? How does it resolve itself? Like you're told by the landlord to stop painting and then what happens?
We kind of still did it. We kind of still went with it because he needed the bus done.
Okay, so when
So-
you finish it, does he come over to take a look at it and then get upset, or how does
He
that
came
work?
over and take a look at it. It was fine that day. The
What did
next
he
day, he said it was fine.
When did all of a sudden everything looks good become it doesn't? I'm gonna give you the floor in a second. I just want to, go ahead.
It all became because he was supposed to pay me that night. We finished it. We went there. He called me to go peel off all the tape and the paper on the window so he could drive it out of there. I said, it's still wet. You really shouldn't do this. It's raining outside. He's like, I have to move. I got to be out of here before the 1st. So do whatever you want. Then he looked at it. He's seen a couple imperfections. I said, we can fix those if we have to when it gets to your new shop because we didn't want it moved while it was still wet anyway. But he had to move it. There was no keeping it there. So then it just turned into a little bit of an argument match between me and him because he's like, I'm not paying for it. It's not shiny enough. I said, you picked the paint. You wanted the cheapest way you could get out of this. You got that.
So I've looked at the pictures. Did it grow on you? You know, the defects that you've shown me, or you just didn't want to have a confrontation, or what?
No, what it was like you said, I was in and out of the place because I was moving shops. My new shop was 20 minutes out. I'd bring a load, unload it, stuff like that. So I was coming in and out while they were painting. And obviously when the paint's wet, it's shiny.
Why are you suing for, just to understand your claim, why are you suing? You're suing for $3,000, which is the labor, and then $700 in materials. What's that about?
I have the receipts here, Your Honor. The materials he was supposed to pay for. That was part of our
But the
agreement.
materials are paint. They're not your tools.
No, they're not. He wanted us to buy a Sanders because I didn't have mine. He wanted
Right, but
his
who was
used.
supposed to pay for the Sanders?
He was. And also,
Can you prove that?
Yes, I
Because watch
can.
this.
Go for
Were
the
you supposed to
respirator.
pay for all that?
Yes, I was, but I expected to keep the Sanders.
Oh, where are all those things?
we left them there when we left.
It's not true. I have
They were like $20 Harbor Freight Sanders. They were nothing special, Your Honor.
Well, then why are you suing for $700?
Because, Your Honor, there's Bondo, Tiger's Hair, Putty, all the stuff we need to do the job. He was agreeing to pay us to pay for. These are the receipts for all the supplies we did buy.
I come up with $576.55. Where do you come up with $700?
There was other stuff mixed in that he was supposed
Okay,
to pay
well, they're
for that
gone.
I'll wash.
If it's
fine.
good enough for you not to bring proof, it's good enough for me.
That's fine.
Let's talk about your counterclaim. You have a counterclaim against him. Not only have you not paid him, and not only is he out an additional $576.55 in materials that you haven't reimbursed him for, you furthermore are demanding that he pay you $7,000 on account of what?
That the vehicle's in worse shape than when it was started, and it will take more work to take off all the paint.
How is it in poorer shape than when you started? I saw pictures of when you started.
Yeah, at least the bus was shiny when I started.
No, it wasn't. It was mitten drinnen work that somebody else had been doing on it who bailed on you.
That one side, yes.
I have pictures of the done job, Your Honor.
Let's see your pictures and see if they're shinier.
If that's true, I'd like to see evidence of it.
Mr. Furtado, though, like I'm just like really at a loss on how you decide, you kind of, you were doing an alley job here, you were paying alley prices, and you decide you're gonna pay zero because it's not shiny? Because everything else you've complained about is minimal. And the problem is there's some stuff that should get fixed on it, but everything went to pot because all of a sudden I'm not paying you for your materials. So you're not only am I not gonna pay you, but it's gonna have cost you all of these days of work, you missing school, and it's gonna cost you materials. Right. No. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of the $3,576.55. And as to the counterclaim, zero.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, the plaintiff is going to get some money back, not everything he wanted. How do you feel about it?
Well, you know, I don't think it was a fair ruling, but it is what it is. So.
You're sorry you got involved with him? I mean, you were
yeah.
buddies.
No,
You were
I am
buddies.
sorry I got involved with him. It's just not right what he did, and that's it.
Are you still going to have a relationship with
No.
him, or is that over? It's over
That's
now.
over.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, Mr. Dion. All right, what do you think about the judge's verdict?
I'm happy with the judge's verdict.
He didn't like it. You just figure.
He just should have paid the bill, and he got what he asked for. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck. Okay.
you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Okay. You must sign some documents, and that'll do it. Harvey?
I mean, Doug, it's so simple. You cannot expect a professional paint job when you do it like that on the cheap, period.